All right, thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim Nakrin here with attorney Jamara Edwards Shipp joining us to do some analysis of some of the top stories that we're following right now. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
So first thing I just want to get on the radar here is that we are essentially on verdict watch right now for this cold case in Dekalb County. And just to lay out some of the details for our viewers, apologize. The situation here is that, I apologize, just working with a little bit of technology at the same time. Teresa Black, the defendant in this case, is accused of killing her son. Happened in 1999, allegedly. And the case went cold until 6-year-old William Hamilton was identified nearly 2 decades after his body was found in a wooded area. So now Black is facing charges, including felony murder, as the state argues that William died of an overdose and that medications were found in his body given to him shortly before his death. Defense is claiming that Ms. Black and William were homeless and that Black had gave William medicine because he was sick. And then they claimed that Black then took William to a wooded area to sleep, but William didn't wake up and she eventually had left. So we understand that the jury is now deliberating, or I should say they're on lunch break. They began deliberating. They had been deliberating in the morning session, and we would expect that they'd continue deliberating in the afternoon session once they get back from break. So first of all, I want to ask you, Mr. Shipp, I mean, because we're talking about a cold case that an incident allegedly happened in 1999. I mean, this is very challenging for the prosecution to prove when there's such a gap between when the actual alleged incident happened and when the trial happens, right?
That's correct. You're looking at about a 20-year gap, well, actually more than 20 years, in which witnesses may have died. Witnesses may have gone to other departments. People may have changed careers. So many things can be lost over time, and it's going to be very challenging for the prosecution to go ahead and say that this was a felony murder and she is directly responsible for it.
Okay. What are some of the other issues that really could be problematic as they're trying to develop this case here?
I mean, for the recollection of 20 years ago, while this may have been a very significant point in Ms. Black's life, again, memories are foggy. Over the course of 20 years. Sometimes I can't remember what I had for breakfast. So trying to remember the events day to day from 20 years ago is going to prove to be a bit murky for the defense side. It's also going to prove to be a lot murky for the prosecution because these officers who responded, how are they going to effectively testify that, you know, something that happened so long ago, they remember all of it, bit by bit, piece by piece.
And then there could be credibility issues. So,
Correct.
and so of course, you know, we're watching the latest on this case, and you know, we're going to bring you the verdict when it comes down here on Atlanta News First Plus, and obviously our traditional over-the-air platforms as well. But I do want to ask you about another case that we have been following very closely as well, and this involves an alleged inappropriate relationship between Fulton County DA Fani Willis and Special Prosecutor appointed to the Trump case, Nathan Wade, alleged election interference, I should say. And so just kind of backing things up, yesterday we shared the motion filed by Ashley Merchant, who you know is a defense attorney for Michael Roman, one of the defendants in this case, and she, in her motion, and Mr. Roman's team, they were calling for the charges to be dismissed, and said that essentially this case was fatally flawed, that it was unconstitutional, the arrival of these indictments based on partly this improper relationship, what they allege to have happened. You know, they allege that Ms. Willis appointed Mr. Wade because of a romantic relationship and did not receive the appropriate approval, and could have used her office, attorneys within her own office instead, and so forth. And so defense attorneys are also pushing to get both of them disqualified from the case. So now fast forward to today, a new development is Ms. Willis has reportedly been subpoenaed to testify in Nathan Wade's divorce case. Okay, a lot to unpack here. Jamara, first step, what do you think of the motion filed just by Ashley Merchant earlier this week, asking to dismiss the charges based on this alleged relationship?
I think Ms. Merchant is an excellent attorney, and I think that this is a very complicated issue that she is trying to unpack for the court. However, I am mindful that Judge McAfee already ruled once before that some of the allegations in this motion have already been ruled on to say that, this doesn't matter. Some of the things that you are alleging, they don't matter in the grand scheme of things. So I think for her client, this is a high stakes, situation in which you have to try and creatively try anything to get the court to see your point. And this would, effectively throw out the indictment. But again, it's a Hail Mary pass. And, sometimes that's all you have left in your arsenal.
And you were kind of talking about, we were talking offline about this defense attorney, Ashley Merchant, who is well known in the legal community, and maybe notorious might be the word for it,
Right.
for representing, I forget the first name because there was a pair of Duke brothers,
Ryan
right?
Dukes.
Was-
Well, they're actually not related.
They're not related?
No, one is Duke, Bo Duke, and the other is Ryan Dukes.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Accused of killing a former beauty queen.
Correct. So, yes, she has made her bones. She has definitely proven herself to be a worthy adversary of the state when it comes to prosecution. However, the creativeness of this motion is going to be something that's going to be studied for a long time, just to see how do you try and weave a web to say that all of these alleged improper acts lead to this indictment being fatally flawed.
What about this new development today about Fani Willis reportedly being subpoenaed to testify in Nathan Wade's divorce case?
So I think we need to take a step back and look at this from the grand scheme of things. If there was not a Trump investigation, how much of this would be newsworthy? She's being subpoenaed to testify in a civil case regarding an alleged paramour of hers. So it's not really newsworthy other than the fact that she is involved in this Trump investigation case. And I think that goes to, again, the MO of the Trump investigation attorneys is to kind of muddy the waters and kind of get out there that, this office is not to be trusted, it's not credible, and therefore you can almost, I won't say you are tainting the jury pool, but you can almost get the jury pool to come in and kind of think, hey, maybe these investigations are not that credible, which could lead to a acquittal.
Interesting. So what do you think happens next?
Next thing is Judge McAfee will rule on it, and he may just go ahead and say, I've already ruled on this once. I've already said that none of this matters. While these are serious allegations that are being made, nothing has really happened on the back end. There has been no investigation into it. There has been no, nobody has come and said that she has been improper. She hasn't been convicted, quote unquote, of being improper with this special prosecutor. So therefore, these are merely allegations. And because they are merely allegations, I'm going to go ahead and rule that this indictment is still valid.
Interesting. Any final thoughts on that topic before we move on?
Nothing for that
Okay.
one. That's an interesting one.
Okay. I want to ask you real quick about this. The DOJ has just filed a statement of interest regarding gender dysphoria, essentially saying that it falls within the Americans with Disabilities Act and its definition of disability. And this all stems from a lawsuit right here in Georgia, based here in Georgia. And the plaintiff said that she had been denied gender-affirming surgery. And this apparently involves the Georgia Department of Corrections. The plaintiff is currently at Phillips State Prison, where she has been in Georgia Department of Correction custody since 1992. And it says, again, she was denied gender-affirming surgery. So now you have this DOJ ruling, essentially means that she should be given gender-affirming surgery. What else does it mean?
I think we need to take a look in America and start to realize that you cannot ignore transgender people. They are all around us, and they deserve to be treated like humans. This person is going through what is being called gender dysmorphia, and she feels as though she should be a woman. So she has tried to self-castrate. She has tried to mutilate, things of this nature, and therefore she should be classified as an American with a disability. We need to be very mindful that this doesn't mean that women are going to be in the men's prison. If anything, she'll be transferred to a women's prison, and she will still be held accountable for the laws that were broken. But I think what some may use for political clout is to say, well, this is just going to be a confusion. We're going to have women in the men's prison. We're going to have men in the women's prison, things of that nature, not taking into account how many prison rapes go on that are not because of transgender inmates. So it's always sometimes for a certain political group to try and muddy the waters, try to make things a little bit difficult, but we need to be mindful that these are real people with real issues, real mental issues, and we need to start paying more attention to the mental health in America.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, absolutely. Okay, I want to ask you about the YSL case, and let's go take a live look inside the courtroom right now. And we do see former defendant Trontavia Stevens is still on the stand. And what we can see, again, this is a live look at this moment. We're streaming this on our special events stream, Gavel to Gavel. Want to encourage everyone to tune in. But what we're seeing is defense attorney for Jeffrey Williams, Mr. Steele, cross-examining Trontavia Stevens. And he was cross-examining Trontavia Stevens yesterday. Mr. Stevens has been on the stand since last week. Just kind of for some background for folks, he was a defendant. He pled out. He turned state's witness. He has testified that he's co-founded YSL gang with Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, that it was a gang. He helped co-found it. He has said point blank in court that all 6 defendants in this case were members of the gang. It was a gang. All 6 of these defendants were members. Okay, so first of all, what do you think of the testimony he's given so far for the state?
The testimony that I've seen him give is not that damaging to the defendant's case. It's more, yes, we are a gang according to the laws of the state of Georgia. 3 or more people, we are a gang. It's more, yes, we had our own little offshoot, our group YSL, because we didn't want to be a part of the rock crew, the Raised on Cleveland gang. It's leaning towards, hey, this guy saw a way out. We still had our own friend group, and if Georgia classifies us as a gang, then yes, I have to say we are a gang, but we're not involved in anything illegal. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's going to be helpful for Mr. Williams' case, or his defense of the case against him, by saying, yes, I will truthfully say, yes, we were a gang, but we're not involved in anything illegal. We're not trying to be an illegal gang. We're just trying to have a record label amongst a group of friends who are interested in music.
Yeah, interesting. That I noticed during cross-examination, I believe it was yesterday, that Mr. Steele got Trontavia Stevens to admit that, that Mr. Williams, Jeffrey Williams, Young Thug, had been looking for a name for his record label when YSL came up as a suggestion. So, it really bolsters the defense argument in that way. And we know that Mr. Steele, there's a reason why he is such a high-profile attorney. He's a good attorney.
Yes, that is correct.
And he knows how to pull out these facts on cross-examination. All right, so what do you expect going forward with this trial? I mean, we know it's a long one. We know that there are more than 400 witnesses on the list for the state.
As the time continues to go on, I don't believe that they're going to use all 400 witnesses. I think that they're going to kind of come to a point where they realize all of these witnesses are not going to be helpful to their case. Their supposed, bombshell witness, the co-founder of YSL, is coming in and saying, hey, yes, we started YSL, but it wasn't started to commit crimes. It was to basically have ourselves a little music group. And as time goes on, more witnesses come in, more witnesses have seen this testimony, whether it be, through internet, social media, whatever, what have you. They're going to realize that, hey, maybe we don't have as strong of a case as we thought we did. What does this mean for Young Thug, Jeffrey Williams, Mr. Steele, and Mr. Gardner, and the rest of the attorneys there? That means that this case may be a little bit easier for them. They're not going to have to worry so much about trying to defend against these people being this ruthless gang. If your co-founder comes in and says, we are not a ruthless gang, we actually left the ruthless gang that had ties to the blood gang, and we just wanted to focus on music. I think that really hurts and damages the state's case.
All right, any final thoughts before we let you go?
Hey, I wish the best of luck to both sides. I know both lawyers. I know we can't have a draw in this, but it's good to see some great lawyering going on.
Absolutely. All right, and then just leaving everybody with this live look inside the Fulton County Superior Courtroom where the YSL RICO trial still underway. And again, this is former defendant Trontavious Stevens on the stand right now. He has turned state's witness. He is being cross-examined by Young Thug's attorney right now. After that testimony, that again, he has said on the stand that he was a co-founder of YSL, a criminal street gang, along with Jeffrey Williams, and that all 6 defendants on trial right now are gang members. So, we are broadcasting this gavel to gavel. Encourage you, if you want to continue on our secondary stream, if you want to continue watching this, just go to our special events stream and you can continue watching that live. I'm going to return us on our primary stream back to our regular programming. Thanks for being with us.